network was really bad. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being part of this community, and for I'm here. If you have any questions, question and answer. I have few minutes. If there's something you want us to talk about your child, about your whatever is going on. If you want to make talk about it, I'm right here. I'm actually cooking, so I try to make something for myself, to eat. But I'm right here. If you have any question or there's something that you want us to talk about, please feel free to and comment. Okay. All right. So I am back. My apologies. I need to pick my mangoes. I love mangoes so much. So that's what I'm trying to eat for lunch, and also get some stuff. So I had to wash it first. Wash my mango, and then I can. Okay. So as someone who is walking the journey, if anyone is interested in mango, I have mango here. Unfortunately, I can't share from here, but anyway. So thank you for joining. Please share if you're able to, and let me know where you're joining from. I am more than happy to answer any question. This is a Q&A live session. So if you have any question, please feel free to ask me about myself, about my kids. Please give me a second. So I was called right now that Dara is having, some kind of difficult time. So I want to quickly leave this. I want to quickly come up live for questions and answers sessions. In case anyone have a question for me, I'm in my kitchen, so it's a little bit dark, and I'm trying to eat my lunch, my mango. So if you have any question, please let me know where you're joining from. Hello, hi. Thank you for joining. Please feel free to leave tell me where you're joining from. I am in the US. I'm a mom of three, two living with autism, and I am more than happy to answer any question that you may have for me. So please go ahead. If you're able to share, please go ahead and share. I'll be leaving very soon. So this is kind of a short video that I'm trying to leave out there for questions and answers. If there's any question you want to ask me about my children, if there's something that I need to answer about behavior, if whatever question that comes to your mind, please feel free to ask me. I am, I'm open to answer any of your concern, any of your question about behavior management, about autism diagnosis, about what's next after I receive my diagnosis. What am I supposed to do? About maybe you need a one-on-one, maybe you need a one-on-one, session like a coaching that you need me to you need a personalized a one-on-one coaching or mentoring on how to go about your walk, your journey, your autism journey. I am here. And if there are other questions that you have for me, you feel like that's what you need in this season of your life, please feel free to leave a question, a comment. Thank you for joining. For everyone that I have on here, yes, hi. Does the ABA therapy helps? Thank you. Hi, Janice. It's nice to have you here. My name is Adi. Usually I'm being called Ronkymore. So I'm a mom of three kids, two living with autism. I have one with behavioral issues, like the spicy one. And I have the one that is a little calmer because it's getting older. So yeah, so back to your question, I would say ABA does help. I've worked in the field. My degree is in special education, ABA option. So I can tell you that ABA works, and I'm going to share a professional experience and a personal experience with you, right? So let me dive in. So for the professional experience, when I was I think in my senior year in the university studying ABA, because I needed to go back to school for my children to learn more. I found out that I had to intern in an agency, which I found very helpful. And I found one of my clients who was nonverbal, right? And this time, I didn't know. I already had my first son, but we didn't have a lot of ABA therapy while it was growing up. So my daughter, we found out later. So this particular, come back to my story. This particular client, he had no words when he started ABA therapy. So I was assigned to go into his home to start therapy before transitioning into the ABA day program. And that ABA day program is a school, is an ABA school. So I sent, I was there in their home before we transitioned to the school. And when I started with this particular boy, he had no words. The only thing I can remember right now was when I appeared at the door, the boy just smiled at me. No words. So when we started about 2 weeks in, I started running the programs. I felt like the boy was learning, but still no words until we transitioned to the daycare. I would say no to the school, to the ABA school. ABA school is like we call it center, ABA center. So we started with this boy. We started walking, different therapies, different, and also with our BCBA, which is the board certified behavior analyst, who oversees the program or the program that you run as a technician. So when we started, over time, this boy started talking, started saying a lot of words, and then learning social skills. So I can tell you, I think about 2 or 3 months ago, I contacted the mother after I left that company to say, hey, how is your little, boy doing? And she told me that, okay, let me finish my story. I see your question. So I see your comment. And I found out that mom said that he's thriving really well, he's doing really great, and that he is in a regular school. So he's using a lot of words now to communicate what he wants. And that's one thing that I want to say about ABA therapy, is that it helps our children communicate either through words, or they use what we call PECS, Picture Exchange Communication System, which is something that they bring to you. That's a form of communication. Or they use an AAC device, which my first son uses before when after he regressed, because my son also started having words, then he lost all the words along the line. But now my son currently uses an AAC device, which gives him voice, and they have all the program in there, and he will tell you what he wants with that. And also, in addition, is able to say very few words like hi, I'm hungry, more, I'm sorry, I'm in my kitchen, more, or you can say food instead of food. You can say war instead of water. So that's why I said ABA works if you're able to start early. If you start early enough, because I have also worked as an early intervention practitioner, and the first thing I tell my families when I notice a couple of changes in their kids is to tell them to, once they have the diagnosis, from the developmental pediatrician, I say start with a center. Take your child to an ABS center before they start school, because there is I wouldn't say aggressive, but there is a full ABA therapy. Your child have access to a full ABA therapy in that center. It's like a school, it's like a daycare, but it's more advanced than a daycare. But it's a school where they start. Everything they do is ABA. They learn potty training. They do everything in that center. So that's something that I will suggest. And okay, it was talking and stopped around 18 months. Okay, So, how old is your grandson now, Janice, if you don't mind sharing? And what country are you in? Maybe I can provide you with, something that might be helpful for you or something for you to look at. All right. So while I'm waiting on your comment, I will definitely. Please give me 1 second. I have someone by the door. Okay, so it's 2 years old now. Okay, all right. So now is the time. Okay, so let me also ask you: have you seen a developmental pediatrician to to complete the assessment for autism, or how did you get to know that he has autism? Did you see a developmental pediatrician that confirmed that, or you just how did you find out? I'm just curious so that I will know how to kind of direct your question or concern. Yes, that has been done. Okay, perfect. So depending on the state where you are at, what I'm going to suggest to you is, especially now that it's two, you can access two different services because it's two. One is early intervention services. I'm not sure if you already started that. Early intervention, especially if you're in the US, is for kids 0 to 3 who have some kind of developmental delay, be it gross motor, fine motor, communication, whatever form. They can help support your child until they turn 3 and they transition into a public school district. But if you already have that early intervention part, I would suggest that you Google ABS centers around me if you're in the US. Because I don't know what is applicable in other countries. But in the US, you can Google ABS centers around me or wherever the mom leaves and Google ABA Center around me, then you're able to get a drop down, a couple of them, and then you can reach out to them and explain to them, hey, my child, my grandson is 2, he needs therapy. They will ask you a couple of questions. Of course, they will complete an assessment, and then they'll be able to take him into school and services can start. Strictly ABA. What they do is ABA, portal training, communication, feeding, everything is ABA. ABA is the only therapy they will use, for your grandson. And another thing is very, very important that when you're seeking that service for that ABA, it's also important that you also carry through in the home. That will help him a lot. Carry everything that is being taught in the ABA center, you carry it into your home and check if your health provider covers for ABA, because now we notice that prior when I had my son, ABA was not covered under Medicaid. Now they are covered under Medicaid, and if you're able to find one closer to you, that's if you're in the US, you might be able to find an ABA center that will cover for I'm sorry, you have to find a Medicaid provider, that an ABA approved Medicaid provider that can work for your grandson, if you find that helpful. I hope I've answered your question. Is there any other question you have for me? Please let me know. I'll be heading out in about 2-3 minutes, and then I will be able to come live later in the day. I can come back at about 8:30 p.m. Eastern. If you are open or available, then I can answer more questions for you. So about 8:30 p.m. Yes, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, depending on what state you are. Are you also in the US, if you don't mind me asking? Okay, all right. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. So if you have any other question, I have videos that are very helpful on this channel. And actually, I was coming back in the evening to show there's one particular book that I wrote, very, very helpful. It has, after autism diagnosis, what's next? What am I supposed to do? Oh, you're in Georgia. Perfect. Oh, Georgia is a good state. Okay. All right. I'm in Jersey. All right. So, yeah. So that book is on Amazon. It's called Becoming Resilient. It's diagnosis to direction, and that has been my journey over the years. What I found out along the way, what I bumped into along the way, what I started doing 90 days after my son was diagnosed with autism, and then my daughter. I have three kids, two living with autism. So it's a the book is gonna help on your journey or your son's journey if you find it helpful. And if you want me to show you like the cover, if you don't mind waiting a second. If not, then I'll probably see you in the evening. But if you want me to get the book and show you the back cover, you will find a lot of information on it, a lot of information. And just for you to know, apart from walking the journey, okay, apart from walking the journey, I am also an advocate. I am very passionate. I'm sure you can tell from the way I speak too. I'm very passionate about our children. I'm an advocate, and I also do some personalized one-on-one training, one-on-one coaching, to help our children. So give me a second. Let me get the book. I'll be back. Hello. So I'm back. I'm back right here. Sorry for keeping you waiting. So this is the book. I think you will find it very helpful. And to be sure of what you're buying, you can, if you're on Amazon, you can check the sample for you to have an idea of what is inside the book. If you want to be convinced enough. It's something. There's a workbook in there that I can open. It's new. It's literally new. There's a mini workbook at the back of it. This is part of the workbook that I have. If you can see, I don't know if you can see it. Chapter 1 workbook. I have for each chapter, at the end of each chapter, there's a workbook to work on what you've done, what you've completed, what you're currently working on, and what you will do in the future. And it's also a faith-based book, that I feel like you're gonna find very helpful. It's called Becoming Resilient: From Diagnosis to Direction, a true mom's journey to clarity and support. So I am very passionate about helping our families to reach. Thank you very much. Thank you for your support. To reach the place where they need to be, and the support that their child or their children needs on this journey. I am here. I'm right here. If you have any question, my email is on my bio. If you have any question, please feel free. And there are other videos that can also help you on this channel. So thank you so much for your support. Thank you for being here. And I hope you have a good afternoon. I will come back live about between 8 and 8:30 p.m. tonight. If you have more questions, please save it for me. And I'll see you later. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.